think of the heart as the root of the spiritual chakras. I really feel called for us to bring a nice big activation into the heart space, and we're going to work a little bit with the solar plexus as well, because that's a very powerful center, and we want to draw that power up into the heart and then expand into universe. Welcome to today's live session with myself, Psychic Carla. Today we are doing the channel guided meditation. There's no knowing of what exactly is coming through, but if I intuitively just feel into it for a moment, I'm really feeling that transition from solar plexus into the heart. It's so important for us to claim our space and to become our own individual human beings. Like, that's part of the human journey, even if we understand that we're all connected, we're all one, we're, everything's a mirror, we're part of that God consciousness. It's still important for us to build identity, to have identity, to feel safe in our identity, to find community, to learn good ways to set boundaries, and all of those sort of very base chakral aspects, those journeys, that connecting in with the earth, and all of that's so important. But when we can move that energy up from the solar plexus, from that energy of being an individual, being this separate entity, into the heart, the root of the spiritual chakras, because the heart literally is the center. It's right in the middle, and I really feel like the heart is the truth center. That's where we can discern our truth from. That's where we can learn what is right, what is really truly feeling right, and that's where we're able to root into our intuition. For example, let's just talk about this for a second. Like, a wide open crown chakra and a wide open third eye is completely useless if it's not grounded in the heart, because you can see all sorts of illusions, and of course, beings can come through and tell you all sorts of narratives. All narratives are valid, but if you are not discerning what is aligned with the truth of your heart, you can go on all sorts of little detours that take you quite far from your purpose. Of course, even a detour can lead you back to your purpose. It's all part of the journey, isn't it? My point being that we can have an open crown, we can download information, we can be highly intelligent, we can see energies and the way energy is working in a room without being connected with the heart. And then this can result in being deeply manipulative and playing people like puppets and narrating things in even a narcissistic way, where everything becomes about self-serving instead of being rooted in the understanding of connection and oneness. And so this again is why, for me, the heart is such an important energy to work with. So I really feel called for us to bring a nice big activation into the heart space, and we're going to work a little bit with the solar plexus as well, because that's a very powerful center. That's where we hold a lot of power, and we want to draw that power up into the heart and then expand into universe. Something along those lines. We'll see what happens. We'll see what the blue team brings through as well. And of course, I would also just love to hear from you, how you're doing, what you're feeling, because it's always nice to just consider what's going on in the collective, who's showing up, and how that might affect what's unraveling today. You've made a comment or mention of, I believe, childhood and trauma, and like the heart being closed off, or just some effect that is 100% absolutely true. That's what I'm working with my therapist, learning how to love and to be able to show love. You know, I think it's one of the most valuable and important lessons, to allow ourselves to open up our hearts and to love unconditionally. And I think this word unconditional love is thrown around so much, but actually so much of how we're taught to love, and that's not true love, of course, it's very transactional. Like, how many of you had parents, and you know, again, I'm not throwing shade on the parents, it's just a very simple observation, but how many of you had parents who withdrew their love when you so-called misbehaved as like a punishment? And of course, they didn't know any better. Somewhere deep inside, they do love you unconditionally, but the action does not actually speak to that. And if we get to a really truly fundamental layer, they may not have beaten you with their physical bare hands. That's actually abusive, because every soul deserves to be loved unconditionally, no matter what they've done, right? And especially if we look at, for example, toddlers. So many parents and people, like, there's toddlers and they're like, I'm just not getting through to them. They don't understand what I'm trying to tell them. Yes, because they don't have the capacity to understand. So you have to be patient and consistent, and sure, there must be consequences, but the consequence should not be withdrawal of love, because that creates very, very deep wounds. And to open the heart is actually a very vulnerable thing to do, so it often can feel very unsafe. And therefore, to open the heart is an incredibly brave thing to do. An incredibly powerfully brave thing for us to do. I'm on a similar journey. I understand what you mean about feeling great to work on changing the trauma mind, the heart, the ancestry trauma, etc. Oh, I love the mention of the ancestry, because I've been working very, very strongly with ancestral healing in the last while, and honestly, it has been so incredibly powerful. I highly recommend to every single person to embark upon ancestral healing. And you know, I'm a psychic. I work with spiritual realms, but let me tell you, it has been phenomenal to actually get someone who is trained in that work to assist me. So I highly recommend, like, of course you can do it alone, but I highly recommend actually reaching out to someone who works with ancestral lineage healing to help you to heal those lines, because when you can heal the bloodline, that they're healthy in spirit, the kind of spirit that stands behind you and moves and courses through your bones and your blood, it is phenomenal. You know, the teams in spirit just multiply. And yeah, I certainly have zero regrets embarking upon that work. There have certainly been a lot of tears, release of tears, and I'm pretty much kind of complete with working on one of the 4 main ancestral lines, and I'm so excited to move on to the next one, because wow, just working with that one line has been absolutely phenomenal. So highly recommend it, and I look forward to complete this journey of healing these 4 lines, and then perhaps being able to share more of that with you, and talk about some of the tools you can employ. I do plan to actually study the practitioner training as well. So anyway, that's a few years down the line. I have spoken about working with the ancestors before, and mostly I've referred to, you know, what I've learned through working with my own ancestors, and learned through books, and what I've learned from, like, you know, different workshops that I've been to. But honestly, I've just taken that to like 50 times in the last 2 months, and now I'm like, I want to complete this journey before I share any more about that. Super exciting. I think we need to get in on this beautiful meditation. So maybe you want to light a candle, maybe you want to grab some crystals or burn some incense, just opening up some space. inviting you to find your most aligned meditation posture for today. Whether you feel to sit upright on the floor or in a chair, or if you need to lie down today, just finding what your body needs. Maybe you give a little stretch on the way there. Maybe you roll those shoulders out a little bit. Just listen. Just allow the body to do what it needs to. As you slowly allow yourself to settle into stillness. Allow the shoulders to draw away from the ears. Allow the palms to fall open, ready to receive. And simply bring your focus to the flow of breath moving in and out of the body. As we simply invite you to allow the voice to guide you, to become soothing, and to aid you in finding the present moment. And of course, at any moment, if thoughts emerge, distractions or background noises, simply observe, acknowledge, and just allow it to move on. Just bringing yourself back to the breath. Allowing that breath to become the doorway into presence. And you might simply grant permission for any of the background noises to simply fade away as you focus on the sound of my voice and the rhythm of your breath. Inviting the breath to become deeper, noticing that expansion and contraction of the stomach. Just observe the body for a moment, this sacred vessel sacred manifestation of your spirit. Notice its weight upon the ground, that force of gravity grounding you to the earth, holding the body. And just imagine the core of the earth. See if you can create some kind of image in the mind. The core of the earth, and you sitting right on that surface of the earth. And in your mind's eye, just draw a line from the core of the earth right up to your body. That force acting upon the body right from the core, just locking you in with the earth. And just whisper or think to yourself, decide and declare, I am safe, I am held, I am grounded. And I'd like for you to locate your solar plexus. We all have different bodies and ways of organizing energy. And this energy center may be felt anywhere between the belly button all the way up to the point where your ribs meet. Just ask yourself where your solar plexus resides, your center of power. Just breathe into that space for a moment. You may even imagine energy coming up from the core of the earth into that powerful center. And for just a moment, I invite you to meditate or to contemplate on the question, where am I giving my power away? Just see what comes up. Where can I claim my space? Where can I set better boundaries? And maybe something comes through and maybe it doesn't. Either is fine. Whether or not you have pinpointed a specific situation or energy, I'd just like for you to call back your power. Just imagine all the energy you've given away, all the power you've given away, all the places where you've allowed yourself to feel powerless, or even in those situations where you have been truly victimized. Just call that power in energetically right now. And you may see coils of energy cycling back to you. And you might imagine the power growing in this solar plexus as a beautiful fire with golden yellow lapping flames, a nourishing, healing, sacred fire. Like the sun, just watch that sun ball grow. You might hear the crackling of the flames. You may even feel crackling of those flames. And you might think to yourself some empowering affirmations. I call back my power. I claim my power. I am powerful. I choose who I am. And as the sun grows in this solar plexus region, I'd like for you to imagine that it burns away any shame, any guilt, any lack of self-worth. Just transmuting it as you take that power in. And in just a moment, we're going to take that powerful energy and we're going to breathe it up the spine into the heart. And this should feel wonderful. This burning is not a painful sensation. It is a freeing sensation. These are the safe and loving flames of transmutation, burning only that which no longer serves. So on that next inhale, breathe that energy up the spine into the heart center. Allowing that powerful sun to transmute into the pure energy of love and open-heartedness. Allowing the heart to open and expand. Allowing any old emotions, grudges, fears, grievances to bubble out. For some, this may be released through tears. Allow some space now for anything to come up. Past memories needing releasing. Old hurts. Just use the breath to let them go. Allowing that sun to burn anything that no longer serves. Transmuting into unconditional love. And if it resonates for you, you might reach the arms behind you, interlacing those fingers behind the back, and just open through the front of the chest. Just stretching that heart wide open. Alternatively, you might just open the arms up to the sides, opening that heart. Keep the focus at that heart center. Allow for that expansive and releasing feeling. You might imagine the color of that divine sun energy transforming into to a soft pink, or maybe a soft green, or whatever color resonates for your heart center. There may even be more than one color. There may be an opportunity here to bring compassion and unconditional love to yourself. The act of closing the heart is a protection mechanism. There are truly situations in this world where it's not safe to be vulnerable, and you can continue to use your discernment like we are able to breathe and move and make decisions in this life, so we can open and close the heart as situations call for. May we always come back to opening, to connecting, and to remembering who we truly are. Love divine. Intrinsically connected to each other. And we owe it to ourselves and to our communities to prepare ourselves that we may love unconditionally, that we may love unconditionally, that we may build safe spaces, that we may build healing spaces, that we may build healthy, nourishing communities. Heart open communities. We owe each other those communities, and so we must become individuals that can manifest those communities. It truly starts with us. How can we take the trauma triggers of our past that many of us carry into the present moment. How can we turn that into fuel? How can we transmute that into deep compassion? How can we allow that to be the reason our hearts open even wider, that we may protect the new generations, hold space for their healing is our healing too. How do we bravely open, shed, and come back to the truth? Love divine. And if it resonates for you, just allow that powerful energy to take seed in that heart center. That you may become the most fiercely loving human possible. And if you have a specific power symbol that you work with, perhaps one of protection and activation, this might be the Christian cross or Egyptian Ankh, the pentacle of Wicca, any religious or sacred symbol that resonates for you. Just imagine that symbol embedding into the heart center, emitting a powerful magnetic shield out from the body. A shield that says, I am protected by divine love. I am led and guided by divine love. And just breathe that in for a moment, allowing that symbol to really settle in, becoming part of the energy body. Slowly letting go of any of the visualization. Sinking the energy back down to that point where you make contact with the ground, feeling the weight of the body, and that connection with the earth. Just giving thanks to all the teams in spirit that have gathered here today to aid this work. Your loving guides and protectors, blue team, and of course divine source energy, or the vibration of love, God, Goddess, sacred in all of us. Just giving thanks. Give yourself a smile. Thank yourself for showing up today. Give yourself a hug. Just feel that warmth, that comfort of holding yourself. Feel that breath moving in and out. And slowly, you might just wiggle yourself back into the space. Take your time. You might bat those eyelids open just a little bit. Coming back, coming back. Welcome, welcome. Wow, well, for me, honestly, that felt incredibly powerful. And yeah, what a blessing to share this sacred time and energy with you. Thank you for sharing your sacred time and energy with us. It really is powerful when we can come together to activate, to bring consciousness. Because that was definitely some powerful energy work, please drink a lot of water. Observe yourself over the coming days. There may be some triggers showing up. There may be some sadnesses showing up. Those are opportunities to let go. All right, especially because we've worked with this energy of the heart and what needs to be released. So, allow any tears to come up, allow them to be cleansing, surrender into any grieving processes that show up. Use any opportunity you can to cry, release. If it's possible for you, get into the ocean, into the salt water, or if you're not near an ocean, maybe a lake or a river, or stand under a waterfall if it's possible. If not, have a sacred bath with some salts in, put some rose petals, whatever you like, but work a little bit with water and cleansing. Spend time outdoors, allow your bare feet to touch the earth, and drink lots and lots and lots of water. Allow things to leave. Allow the heart to open. Of course, if you're not already following, if you do feel called to hit follow, it would be such an honor to continue to journey with you. What a blessing it is to have such a lovely audience today. I am wishing you the most magical day, night, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world now. And yeah, wishing you the most magical now. So much love. Thank you for being here. Deepest of gratitude. Goodbye, loves.